If you have no idea what a style is, what a paragraph or a character style is, essentially what it is a collection of formatting options. For instance, a font and a color, or maybe a font size and italics, something like that. And then what we can do is we can apply this style throughout our composition. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to collapse down paragraph, the paragraph panel. We don't need him anymore. And I'm going to head up to my window menu and then all the way down to paragraph styles. And we have paragraph styles and character styles grouped together. Now, before I do anything else, I want to make sure that I don't have anything selected inside the layers panel. Notice I have my text layer selected there. So I'm just going to click once or twice down at the very bottom of the layers panel because I don't want to accidentally apply any formatting just yet. Now, at the bottom of the Character Styles panel, go ahead and click on the Create Character Style icon, this guy here, and that creates a brand new blank style for us. Let's go ahead and double click on this guy, and that brings us into the Character Style Options dialog box. The first thing that we should do is we should give this guy a name. Rather than just leaving him as Character Style 1, let's rename him to something else. Perhaps Standout, or whatever it is that you happen to be applying to your text. Maybe it's a font and a color, or maybe you could call it underlined text, or whatever you like. Okay, so I'm simply going to call mine Standout. Now what we can do from here is we can start applying some of our formatting options. For instance, I'm going to go and make sure that the font that's going to be used for my text anyway is going to be Blackmore. There he is right there. I could set the size as well. I could set the capitalization. Maybe I want to go all caps, things like this. You can start to dig around and look at some of these different options that we can apply. Again, options that you are most likely already familiar with. We could get in and specify some kerning and tracking as well. We have some options there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to set the font, and I'm going to set the case, and I also want to apply faux bold, so fake bold, onto this text as well. The other thing I can do is I can start digging through some of the other categories as well. I could go advanced character options. I could set some scaling if I wanted to, some baseline shift as well. I could also get into some more advanced features like my open type features. Again, it gets a little bit more advanced. I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. We now have this style created for us inside the Character Styles panel. Let's go and use them inside our document. So I'm going to switch over to my Type tool just by tapping the T key on my keyboard. And I'm going to select the text Join, okay, inside the Come Join Us text. Grab that guy. Right now, he does not have a character style applied to him. I'm going to single click on Standout, and that applies whatever the formatting settings that we had set inside this character style. They're now applied to the selected text. Let's go and continue on. I'm going to switch back to my Move tool for a second, and then back down to my Type tool, and I'm going to select the word Prizes. There we go. And I'll set him to Standout, and I'll do the same with Games. There we go, something like this. And I'll do the same with guests. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to do a little bit of resetting inside my layout because now some text is running off the edge or running into the statue in the background, this sort of thing. But that's really the idea behind a character style and also a paragraph style. We'll take a quick look at paragraph styles in just a second. Now, the idea here, too, is that at any point in time, I can come back and double click on my style and go and change some of my settings. Maybe I want to use a different font, or maybe I want to apply italics, or perhaps a color, something like this, right? I got to show you color. This is something interesting. I'm going to go and set a color, I've decided, for anything that uses the Standout character style in my composition. So maybe as an example, I'm going to set the color to red. And I'll go ahead and click on OK, and then on OK one more time. And notice that we don't get red showing up here. How come? Well, it's because we've set a color overlay with our text, with our layer effects on our layers. So if I disable the color overlay, there's the red. But my layer effect is actually overriding, if you will, the character style. So watch out for things like that. I just happened to notice that when I was experimenting with the character styles. And that was something that I picked up on. I wanted to share with you. Paragraph styles, very similar idea, except we have more options, of course, related to paragraph formatting. Let me show you real quick here. I'm going to go and create a new paragraph style. I'll double click on paragraph style 1. Very similar dialog box where we're prompted for a name for our new paragraph style. And then check out the options. Once again, the font, the style, the size, the tracking and kerning there, and then the case and the color and so on. But we have a lot more in terms of what we can do here on the left-hand side. That's the basic character formats, advanced character formats. We saw these guys earlier. Open type features, we saw those. And then we can get into things like indents and spacing. So a lot of the settings that we saw inside the paragraph panel, we can build into a paragraph style. For instance, the alignment, the indents, the left indent and the right indent and the first line indent, space above and below. Then we have composition, justification, and hyphenation as well. It gets pretty intricate. But again, myself, I'm just going to cancel out of this. Myself, I think if I were going to go this far with my typography, personally, I think I'd use a more dedicated application, perhaps Illustrator or, again, InDesign. That's just a personal choice, though. It's nice to know that we do have these features, though, inside Photoshop CS6 now.